Well, welcome to the Fintech Talents Festival. I'm here with Diederik Van Wersch, who is the Director for Mid-Market EMEA at Chainalysis. How are you today?
I am fantastic. Really happy to be here.
So could we start by having a little bit of an overview of what Chainalysis does, who you guys are?
Absolutely. So Chainalysis is the leading blockchain analytics firm in the cryptocurrency industry. And it was really born because our founder, Michael Groninger, he used to be the co-founder at a very large cryptocurrency exchange back in 2013-14. And when he was there, he realized how difficult it was to get a bank account as a cryptocurrency business. And this was largely because regulators, banks, financial institutions, they didn't have any trust in the cryptocurrency space. They assumed it was just for criminals. And he realized if this industry is going to go mainstream, there needs to be some type of compliance and investigatory solution in this space to help build trust. And that's where the idea for Chainalysis was born from. Now, Chainalysis, we work and provide compliance and investigatory services to law enforcement agencies, governments, regulators, cryptocurrency businesses, and financial institutions. So, if you're a law enforcement agency, you need to make sure that the criminals who are using cryptocurrency in your jurisdiction, you need to have a means by which you can trace them down. If you're a bank, you need to make sure that the customers of yours that are exposed to crypto, you have a means by which to ensure that they are not interacting with nefarious entities. And if you're a cryptocurrency business, if your business is accepting or sending out cryptocurrency, you need to make sure you aren't accepting the proceeds of illicit funds, whether they be from drug dealers, sanctioned entities, what have you. That's what we can provide at Chainalysis, and we provide this information to businesses all across the world. We ourselves are based all across the world, with offices in New York, Singapore, London, all the way as far away as Australia, and we work with close to 1,000 customers at the moment.
So, I mean, you made a couple of points there. One is that you're global, you operate globally, and also that you work a lot with regulators. You have to understand regulators, you have to understand the nuances of compliance. Can you talk a little bit about maybe some of the differences across the countries in which you operate? Are there differences in adoption, perhaps, and usage of cryptocurrencies? And then, how does that pertain to what regulators are doing and how you keep up with that?
Yeah, no, that's a very topical question, and I'll say that that's something that we focus on a lot at Chainalysis. So every year we release our Geographies of Cryptocurrency report, which users can go look up on our website right now, and it's one of the most comprehensive looks at cryptocurrency adoption across the world. Now, what we're actually seeing is that cryptocurrency adoption is very much on the rise. It reached its peak in about, I think, Q2 of last year, when we were really in the heights of the bull market, where Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies was reaching new all-time highs. And even though it has been on a slight downward trend since then, as the market has taken a hit, we are still above the pre-bull market levels in terms of overall adoption. And that's encouraging because it means that the bear market can't wipe out the bull market adoption. Yes, the price might be down. Yes, there are projects that may have died, but a lot of the new users that have entered into the cryptocurrency space, and a lot of the new use cases, a lot of the new enterprises, it appears as though they're here to stay. So that is encouraging for the overall market, even if looking at the actual market figures right now is a bit discouraging. When it comes to countries itself, there are definitely some interesting trends we've noticed. So good news is the country that we're in right now, United Kingdom, is the #1 country in all of Europe when it comes to cryptocurrency adoption. I think it's around number 11 in the world right now. So always encouraging to see that London, the UK, retains its status as one of the world's foremost cryptocurrency, or rather finance hubs in the world, technology hubs in the world. But, and this was really quite enlightening to me, and I encourage your viewers to go look this up on our own blog posts. We actually see that of the top 20 countries when it comes to cryptocurrency adoption, a lot of these countries are what we'd call lower middle income countries. It's not the wealthiest countries in the world. The #1 country when it comes to crypto adoption is actually Vietnam. And we see other nations such as Turkey, such as Argentina make the list. We see Kenya, we see, I believe, Nigeria, or another nation also in Africa, high up on that list. And the reason I actually find this, in a way, encouraging is when Satoshi came up with the idea for cryptocurrency, a lot of the goal was to bank the unbanked, to help those that have not been well served by the current financial ecosystem and their own governments. So individuals in places like Turkey and Argentina, which are seeing their own fiat currencies be eroded through inflation, they are moving into cryptocurrency because they recognize the potential it has for them to protect their own wealth. And also people from less economically developed countries, they send funds back in the form of remittances. remittances. Now, right now, in the traditional fiat space, this can be quite complicated. It can be quite expensive for them as well, having to pay exorbitant fees. So with cryptocurrency, it's far more easy to facilitate these cross-border payments, and it's really exciting to see people using crypto not purely as a speculative asset class, not purely to make a quick buck, but really for its intended purposes, which is payments, which is to protect one's wealth.
And that's a really interesting perspective, because arguably, if those people are using it instead of fiat currency, and they're using it, as a means to protect, their assets, it's more important to them that it's secure. So if I lose a small percentage of, if somebody's in the UK who's putting a small percentage of their income or their savings into cryptocurrency in the hopes it might, in a speculative way, and I lose it, that is problematic, absolutely. But it is not my life savings.
Exactly.
It is not my, every penny I've ever had. So I just wondered if you could talk a little bit about how you protect people, because some of those people are arguably very vulnerable if they've not engaged with kind of formal financial systems before, or technologically based financial systems before. So, what are the patterns you're seeing in cybercrime, and how do you go about preventing that?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of our tagline is actually building trust in blockchains, because blockchain cryptocurrency, it has been historically a low trust. It still doesn't have the world's best reputation. I think recent events in the markets are not going to be changing that anytime soon. That being said, I'll preface everything I'm about to discuss by citing an oft-cited Chainalysis statistic, which is that only 0.15% of all activity on the blockchain is illicit. So you asked what patterns I'm noticing. The main pattern is that it's going down. The amount of cryptocurrency crime is decreasing year on year, and there's actually less crime in the crypto space than what you'll find in the fiat space. So the reputation crypto has for being used by criminals is completely unwarranted. That being said, of course, there are criminal actors out there. And I think one thing you mentioned about protecting people's funds, the number one form of cryptocurrency crime, and as a side note, we have our own crypto crime report, which we release every year as well, which I also encourage users to go look up on our website. The number one form of cryptocurrency crime year on year, without fail, are scams. Now, scams can take a variety of different forms, but this can be anything from, hey, send us 1 Bitcoin and we'll send you 2 back, or hey, send us a Bitcoin and you will see 30% returns every single month. And these are oftentimes Ponzi schemes. They will actually generate revenue for some of the early investors, but will obviously steal money from later investors. So one thing that we can do is we have teams that will identify scams in the market. And we work with law enforcement agencies who will also share with us information and say, hey, we identified this scam, add this to your database. And because we work with law enforcement agencies across the world, it means we have a very robust database when it comes not just to scams, but all forms of crime. So what this then means is, because we can identify these scams, if a user on a cryptocurrency exchange wants to send their own Bitcoin to one of those scams, or whether it be another currency as well, and that exchange, that platform, they're working with Chainalysis, they can actually screen the transaction before it goes out and tell the user, wait a second, don't send your funds here, this is a scam. And like this, we can make the industry fairer and more safe for a lot of the more vulnerable users who are susceptible to these scams, especially in the cryptocurrency space.
And I think that's something that, as you say, the fiat world hasn't got right either. If you look at the precedents of APP fraud, that's an awful lot of people sending their money to bad actors. And, the more we can do to prevent it in the crypto world, hopefully some of that will come into the fiat world as well. Well, that's a very comprehensive overlook of the crypto space and where we are right now. Thank you very much for your time. I just want to finish by asking you, is there anything at the festival today that you're looking forward to seeing? Are you just here to meet as many people as possible? Are you here to have one of the beers, the craft beers that have been going since midday? What's your afternoon looking like?
I've had 3 beers already, actually. So I mean, it's been fantastic. My second year running right here. I think what I always find interesting is this is not a crypto-focused event, and I've noticed this about other non-crypto-focused events. What was exciting to see is more and more crypto has become an increasing part of every fintech, every finance conference around. And I'm seeing this even in the difference between this year and last year. So I find that from a personal perspective, encouraging about the success of this space. So I'm looking forward to speaking to all the cryptocurrency businesses and all the businesses that also want to dip their feet in the water with cryptocurrency and helping to demonstrate how we can help them build trust in blockchains.
Brilliant. Well, I hope you have a fantastic afternoon. Thank you very much for talking to me today.
Thank you so much for having me.